Well, hello again, and thank you for tuning in to this edition of Inside Career Technical Education. I'm Ann Baldwin, one of the hosts of the program.
And I'm Jim Beloga, President and CEO of Porter and Chester Institute and YTI Career Institute. And I am the other host, and hence Ann's co-host.
There we go. And we're so excited because these podcasts are really designed to give you, the viewer, good, useful information. And we want to talk a little bit about some of the great offerings that Porter and Chester Institute, I don't know if it's offerings or more if it's really support that goes into the education process at Porter and Chester Institute.
Yeah, I would say it's really student services.
Yep.
And we're constantly trying to make the student experience the best it can be. And again, we identify various student services that we think help us accomplish that goal.
Right, and you're never in it alone. So know that from beginning to end to employment, somebody is with you all the way. So to talk more about that, we've got Chris Shepley, and Chris is the Vice President of Career Services and also Employee Partnerships and Alumni Outreach. That's one heck of a title, Chris Shepley. How'd you get there?
It is. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk today about the department and how we can help our students and graduates.
So, Chris, why don't you explain what Career Services is and how you apply that to the student experience?
Sure. Yeah. No, thanks. So I mean, in career services, a lot of people think of it as helping individuals find jobs, which that's a big part of what we do. But I view the career service function as really kind of two key components. So, one is we are the interface with the students. So we get to know the students from day one. We're helping them with everything that they need in terms of being job ready. And that's different for each student. So it's important for us to get to know them because some students need help with resume writing. Other students have a great resume already coming in and they need help with interviewing prep and interview skills. So we try to tailor the career service approach to meet the individual needs of the student. And the only way we do that is by really getting to know them. So that's number one, is the student side. And then the other side of it is the employer side. And let's be honest, the employers are the end user of our experience. They're hiring our graduates to help staff important entry-level roles within their organization. So we have to take the feedback from the employer into it. And so I view career services as really being an important mirror to the students what's important to the employer. And oftentimes our students come in, they're excited, they want to turn a wrench, they want to draw blood, but they forget that employers also want someone who understands customer service, someone who can be on time, someone that looks the part. And so career services fills a major part of that as well, is getting them prepared for long-term job success.
Yeah, it's interesting as I'm listening to Chris describe, everything that our career services team does. It's almost like a matchmaker,
right?
And again, it's a great service that I'm very proud that we're able to offer, and Chris and his team they do a very, very good job, helping our graduates, and again, I think it's great to hear how we view each individual as their own, and we don't try to sort of take a cookie cutter approach to this. I mean, we're trying to meet with people and really truly understand what their unique ability is,
right? And
where they need help, and I think that our team members in career services do an excellent job doing that.
Agreed. The one thing I really enjoy about the team is the fact that they care about each student's outcome. And again, some students come in day one and they're prepared for the job search, they're ready to go, and they don't need as much help finding an opportunity. And then we have some students that this is the first time for them really kind of stepping out into the professional world, and they're nervous and they need a bit more hand holding, a bit more coaching, and a bit more direction. And that's the nice thing about career services, is we have the opportunity to apply whatever method works best for the students. But ultimately it really is about their success, and to me that leads back to employers and employer relationships. Our employers are great. They're willing to, work with us. They're willing to help our students, take that first step into their career field. And they hope that those students are going to stay with them, for the long term. The biggest success stories that we hear time and time again is when you have a graduate who calls you, 5 years down the road, they're still at the same company, but now they're actually responsible for hiring for that department because, maybe they're a service manager or they're a medical assistant coordinator. Those are awesome things to hear. And we hear more and more of those, each day. And those are the stories that, really keeps us going.
Chris, maybe talk a little bit about, we've talked about employers. I mean, how do we go about really cultivating those relationships? I mean, what are we, what are we doing internally and for, viewers, viewers of our podcast who might be employers? I mean, how do we sort of get more of them?
Yeah, no, it's something that we constantly are working on a daily basis. I mean, we're fortunate, we've been around for 75 years. So we do have some great long-standing relationships with employers that, we've worked with for years and years and years, and they've grown to really trust us. And those are great. But we're always looking to reach out to new employers that maybe haven't heard of us, might be new to the market, and talk to them about some of the things that are happening, in our schools. So they understand, here's what we do and here's how we can help you. So I don't think we've ever called an employer and had them say, hey, no, we're not interested in working with you or partnering with you. Because again, we offer employers, our graduates, it's a free service. It helps them keep their business going and hopefully keep their business growing. To be honest, that's the goal. But for example, right now, we're looking to move into some new programs, new program offerings. And so we're reaching out to employers that we've never worked with because we haven't had a program in their field, but there's a need in the marketplace for it. So as we start to explore those programs, we're simply reaching out and talking to them about our schools, about our hands-on education, the combination of didactic and hands-on, our industry model labs, all the things that we think would really trigger a response for them. And then the best thing is, we want to go out and see their facilities so we get to know them. And then, of course, we invite them in to see our facilities because we want them to see the type of education that our students are receiving on a daily basis. Once they come in and tour the facility, they're hooked. They're like, this is a great place. I can see why you're producing, top-notch graduates. How can we work with you together? And that's when we talk about, some different offerings, whether it's, some training programs we can help them with, whether it's them being on our program advisory committee meeting so they can keep us abreast of what's happening in the marketplace. It's really a give and take. And that's what our best employer partnerships come down to is, we're providing them with something, but they're also providing us and our students with something that's equally as important.
Well, and Chris, one of the things that I want to talk about too is it's still work. It's still a commitment. The flexibility of the program is there to fit people's lifestyle, but there has to be a commitment. And there's also incentive for the students in all of the programs in that sometimes is it true that these employers will go to you and say, I want your top 3 students in this program, or send me your top 5 students. So there's incentive for these, just like anything else, just like high school. You want to be at the top of your class, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Employers will always call and say they want the best available graduate.
The cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop. And we always tell them, let's learn more about you and what you need and try to match you with what we think our best graduate is because they're all different. But yeah, they want the best of the best. They'll often ask us about attendance. They want to see attendance records, transcripts they can receive from the students and graduates themselves, but they want to get a sense of, who's committed to it. And who's really going to be with them, long term. So they like the fact that students are committing time and resources to attend our schools, and that's why they often turn to us. But they're not going to call and say we want someone who's got spotty attendance, who doesn't do the work. So we really try to reinforce. And again, I mentioned earlier that career services role is to communicate what the employers are looking for to our students, and we try to reinforce that on a daily basis. We invite employers in to speak to our classes, whether it's on ground or our hybrid model where they can do Zoom meetings. Our employers love that because they can get on a Zoom call and talk to 50 or 60 potential graduates right in one stop, and they'll talk to them about what a day in the life in that particular industry looks like. They'll talk to them about their company, and trust me, the students, they love it because they feel like, hey, these guys are trying to sell me on the company, and like, yeah, they are, because they need you and they need people like you, so they want you to choose them just as much as they choose you. So it's a very unique position to be in. And to Jim's earlier point, the phone rings off the hook. I mean, we have employers that they just cannot staff their open positions. They've got work and they want to grow, but they can't staff these open roles.
Right.
So we need to figure out a way to, help them, get more folks interested in these opportunities, so they can continue to run their business and ultimately grow.
And the education continues for these students, Chris, as I know. So, you go to work, let's say, for an automotive dealership. Well, they're going to continue to train you. You go to work for a major healthcare company. Well, the training continues and the promotions continue and the career ladder, you continue to climb that. So I think it's great what you do. It's a great service that's offered. And I really encourage people, if you want more information on the programs, and there's also a big explanation about career services, you can go to the website porterchester.edu. That's porterchester.edu. And Chris Shepley, thank you so much for being on the program. And as we like to say here, continued success.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So on behalf of myself, Ann Baldwin,
and Jim Beloga,
we want to thank you for tuning in to this edition of Inside Career Technical Education.